everyone. My name is Thelma Jenkins, and today I'm going to do my presentation on Alzheimer's disease. It's a disease that affects your memory, it affects the way you think, it affects the way your personality, your mood swings, it affects a lot of things. Dementia affects your family, yourself, because most times with that, each stage you go through, your family or someone else is going to be your caretaker. I'm going to abbreviate it and I'm going to call it AD. AD is the abbreviation for dementia disease. AD been around 1906. It was a doctor who called it a different name for disease, and now we call it AD dementia. What they found out that the cells in the brain, they died out. Where they died out at was where a lot of the memory was stored, where a lot of the places where our moods, our personalities was there. Because in our cell, in the nervous system, each cell communicate with each other. During AD, there are two other toxic cells that damage those cells and cause our cells not to communicate with each other, which cause someone to lose their memory, become a whole different person. There are signs, early signs, and there are 3 stages that a person goes through. The early signs can be just forgetting where you place your money, being able to count your money, being able to remember where you're going, remember who you are or what you just read. Those are some of the signs, little early signs that some people will notice, and they'll contact their doctor before they'll let their family know. The early signs, most people don't tell their family what they're going through. They'll forget here and there, or forget a person, or forget somewhere they have been, or forget a little task that they normally can do. They still able to function on their own, independent, without help. But they know something's going on, because like they place their car keys somewhere, they forget, and they put stuff in different places that most people who don't have memory loss or thinking or behavior issues will do. In the second stage, which is considered mild, but it's considered not as mild, because you can have dementia up to 8 years. And you be in this stage for those 8 years before you go to the final stage. And this stage is a little more severe. The people forget. They lose their bowel movements on themselves. Don't realize they did it. They forget where they going or who they going with. Forget people who they knew for many years. They forget them too. They forget the daily tasks of just changing the shirt or changing the clothes or where they sleep at. They forget that they eat. Have they washed themselves? They'll forget, did they go outside? Or how outside look? They can look at a magazine and can't tell you nothing that's in the magazine. Even if it's a magazine that's showing a lot of pictures of them with their family, they will forget. And that's when a lot of family members become more involved, because they know something else is going on, and they don't need them to tell them. You can see it yourself. That's when they have to have extra help. In the last stage, which is the final stage, like I said, you can have dementia for many years. You can have dementia for many years. And the final stage is where a lot of times they don't know who you are. They need all around care. They don't know up, down. They don't even know who they are sometimes. They don't know they kids. They don't know their kids at all. So you have to really monitor them. They behavior. They a whole new person. They moods change. Their personality change. The person that you knew in the early stage is a whole different person. You don't know who this person is. You don't know who they are. You don't know nothing about that person, because every day is something different. In the last stage, you are basically taking care of them. You are making sure they survive another year and more years. You are they independent. You gonna take care of them. You gonna make sure they function. Some of them at this stage don't even walk no more. They don't have no communication. Can't talk. Some of them don't even look at you in the eyes. I mean, this stage is that you just keeping your loved ones comfortable, keeping them here as much as you can, and taking care of them. See, I know firsthand of dementia. I have a mentor who's going through it right now. She's not in the late stage. She's still in the middle stage. I had an uncle who went through all stages, and he went fast because he had Parkinson's disease, and he had dementia. And so, with my family was experiencing, which her case and his case are two different cases. With his case, he had Parkinson's disease, and with her case, a trauma in her life triggered. So we don't know if she had a mild stroke while the trauma was going through her life, but we know that triggered her brain cells to start dying off early. She was a teacher and very active, very healthy, and when she had that trauma in her life, it triggered the dementia. Her mother suffered from dementia, so we know she did inherit it, but she didn't have any strokes. And when she's in the second stage right now, to where she don't remember just any basic duties today. You know, I go in, I take care of her, and her husband, he do what he can. You know, it's a very roller coaster up and down when it comes to a person with dementia. And my uncle, he went through the stages fast. He went from stage 1, then he went to stage 2, and by the time it was in stage 3. And my family was his caretaker. My mom, they all was together. It was 8 of them, and they became his take care. And they took care of my uncle for many years while he was here. They did every daily thing they was taking care of him doing. And one thing I know what my mom was telling me was, even though people go through these stages and you lose that person, because you lose them mentally and physically, that person that you know is no longer with us. But you also remember that was your loved one, and you always you give them respect, love, and care and dignity. So my uncle with her, they had to find ways of keeping his independence. And that's something I'm learning as I take care of my mentor. You know, I make sure she, even if it's a little task or something that she used to love doing, I make sure I put it there and she go forward. So they do lose their memories and stuff, but it's like little things they remember themselves. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, but she remembers, she goes to it. It's like my uncle, my mom find ways of making him do little stuff to be independent and not lose that independent dignity. And that's the main thing when it comes to dementia. We have to remember they was someone, our loved one, and we're leaving their dignity, because they are going to change, their mood's going to change, the personality going to change, and the person that they were is going to be gone. So you take care of that person with love and dignity. So that's one thing I learned about dementia, and I learned that our cells and our brain start dying off. And dementia usually happens between the ages of 65 and older. Dementia is nothing that is age related though. Dementia is something that they don't believe is age related, even though it happens around people 65 and older. But it can happen for other things. Like my mentor was a tragic event that happened in her family. Even though she had that cell, that gene cell, it could have passed her on to the next one. But since she had something trauma that happened in her life, it brought it out. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you guys for listening, and have a great day.